Hello and welcome to Be Here Now, a Peaceful Empowerment Works show where presence invites perspective and allows peace. We are live on the newstreamingnetwork.com, home of goingboldmedia.com, goingsolomedia.com, and WGSN-DB Going Solo Network Radio. I am your co-host, Judy Forder, and I am here with my co-host in peace, Miss
Janice Leonard. Hey, everybody.
Woohoo!
Every week, Judy. I can't handle it. I'll do it later.
Okay.
That'd be a great time for the drum roll. I brought my drum today. Oh, you know what? Now that I'm talking about it, I got to do it, don't I? I'm sorry. I got to put the dog down. Sorry, Boots. Bo, whatever your name is. Okay. Try it one more time.
All right.
Okay.
If you like our content, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. All right, Janice, what you got for us today? Your drum is beautiful.
Thank you. We'll work on that. Hi. Thank you. Every week, Judy and I share our story. I gotta stop it. We need this release, I think, first. Every week, Judy and I share our stories and the way we deal or try to deal with the challenges in our lives to help us and hopefully all of us find some peace. We do this with unconditional acceptance and love. We are a 501c3 nonprofit organization. If you're able, we appreciate your tax-deductible donations to help us pay for operational expenses. You can go to our website, www.peacefulempowermentworks.org. See what we're about. If you're able, click on the donate button at the top. And now I will bring us in. I think we need an extra dose of that this morning.
That is magic.
Yeah.
It is magic. Our topic for this week's show is busy bus or cozy cruiser. Which one are you driving? Interesting. We need to get settled in because, we had some 3D lifing going on before we got to meet in our pregame meeting. With my brother, getting him set up on some things, and your bowl is simply magic. Drops me right in and brings me present.
Yeah. I feel lucky because I'm right here with it. So, I definitely get the first degree, but this sound system with the new streaming network is really good. So I hope that you can feel it too.
Yeah. The interesting thing was Janice did it when we were in Zoom. And because of the noise canceling in the back, I couldn't hear it, but I could feel it. So amazing. Amazing. So let's start rolling. What kind of good news do you have for us this week, Janice?
I've got some great news. This week is but from Chaboy Rafi. He goes by Rafi. And this is about a elderly couple in Silverio. Over to you. So what it says, if those of you who don't have the visual part of this is a 103-year-old man who's reuniting with his wife after she spent a month in the hospital. And the joy and happiness in his face and his whole body is like shaking as he sees his wife and walks up to her. Oh my gosh, I just, you dream of having a relationship like that. You want to have a great relationship with yourself. That is most important. But I tell you, times like that, you say, gosh, I hope my husband and I can make it that long and be like that. What a joy. What a gift. Wow.
Yes, absolutely. Watching the video made me think of my grandparents. It was not a funny thing, but my grandmother, when she had her first heart attack, was in the hospital. And my grandparents were notorious for bickering. You know, they bickered. That's what we knew. And when my grandfather walked into the hospital room and called her sweetheart, I just started to cry. I was like, oh my God, Grandma's going to die.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah. They were comfortable in the bickering. And, you know, when she got home from the hospital, it was about 2 or 3 weeks where there was this sweetness back and forth between the two of them. And all of us, you know, we loved it, but we were like, this is a little weird.
So 2 weeks is the honeymoon phase, huh?
Yep, 2 to 3 weeks. That third week, they started bickering. We're like, Grandma's back.
Oh, love. Love is just such a gift. And that's just, oh.
Yes, and it is expressed in many different ways.
Yes, it is.
I love it. I love it. The attitude is everything. Weekly affirmation. Janice, I'm looking forward to this. Is going to help reset my mind.
I know. I tell you. Ooh. So this is my first show back from the new year. So I like this one. I liked it because it's about the new year and it spoke to me. I wanted to make it shorter, but I don't know. I didn't know which part to cut out. So I will do it for me because we can all say this for ourselves. Mm-hmm. And this is brought by Karma Gaya, if I'm saying it right. Mm-hmm. And you going to correct me? Am I saying it right? No. Oh, okay. They actually have I'm going to put a plug for them. They have a daily, is it daily or weekly? Newsletter, and they have the neatest things in there. And I like a lot of their things. And this is the daily affirmation. I welcome the new year as a fresh start and a limitless opportunity to grow, learn, and thrive. I honor my journey, recognizing how far I have come, and trust in my ability to shape a bright, fulfilling future. Each day, I choose positivity and embrace the possibilities that unfold, knowing I am worthy of success and joy. I release self-doubt, celebrate my strengths, and nurture my dreams with patience, courage, and determination. With an open mind and a loving heart, I step boldly into this year, confident that I am creating a life filled with purpose, abundance, and peace. I remain open to new opportunities and trust in the divine timing of all things. As I continue to move forward, my spirit is enriched by joy, harmony, and the promise of my own unlimited potential. Happy New Year, everybody.
Wow, that's beautiful. What a great declaration to start the year out with. Each day I choose, because it's a choice, positivity, and embrace the possibilities that unfold. Yes.
Yeah, I release self-doubt, celebrate my strengths. I recognize how far I've come.
That's a big one. Big one. Yes. Nurture my dreams with patience. Patience, understanding there is a divine plan. Yes. Courage and determination. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love the step boldly into this year with confidence.
I am trying to confidently say that I will step in with confidence.
Yes, so much goodness in that. So much. Wow.
So did you have so this is our first show together through the year. Did you have a good holiday season?
I did. It was very interesting because it wasn't high pressure stress. And I really paid attention to being present and enjoying everything going on around me. You know, now part of that is because a lot of the shopping you do is online now. So you don't have the stress of going out and being in the crowds and all those kinds of things. But it was great. Spent time with family, spent time with friends. Maddie's been home for her winter break, and it's been great. we had some illness sweep through the house, but even that seemed to go through swiftly.
Oh, good.
Didn't feel swift when we were in the middle of it, but it moved through swiftly.
Although maybe, yeah, it's probably parts move through swiftly. Oh,
Exactly.
there we go. Where's my drum? That's
Yeah.
great.
So it was good.
I find the stress, because of, people came to my house, but did you get the good presents? And you fall back into old patterns of, wanting to make sure you did good enough. And I tried, and I said, it's one thing I noticed I bring it on myself. It's not reality. Like, I know that I did, fine with presents and more than fine, because I forget half of what I bought, and it's been in the closet for a month or two. And it's about giving. It's not, it is about giving of your heart and love. And it's hard. It's hard though, because like my stepson was with us, and he's a recovering addict, and so we didn't see him for about 10-15 years to speak of. And so he comes back, and we have the same patterns that we did 10-15 years ago.
Right.
So every time we're with him, it's a challenge to not have those old patterns. And I think I did well, because last year I didn't do well. This year's better. This year the challenge was, unfortunately, my niece got killed the day after Christmas by a car in Maryland, and it was so tragic. And she was another special needs. She's on the spectrum, and pure heart of gold. And so me and there's 4 kids in my family, and the 3 of us went down and visited my brother, because this is the second child he's lost in 3 months. So we went down there, and my sister, I have deep-rooted patterns with my sister. So it was interesting, and not that we couldn't talk about the loss, which is definitely tragic in itself, but I want to talk about what I've learned from it more, because it was, there's no getting over how much my brother, I feel for him. But and my nieces and nephews, prayers to them. And thank you for everyone who's prayed and said positive energy for them. And my sister, she was the one who I let control me. I didn't know enough not to let control me. If she said I shouldn't do something, I wouldn't do it. I didn't have a mother growing up. I had a stepmother, but it wasn't exactly that role. So I tended to do what my sister said.
Right.
And that's a big part of it. So it's always challenging, because I don't spend that much time with her. But we stayed in a verbo, me, my brother, and my sister, together for 6 days. 6 days. Thank goodness a verbo. We all each had our own room. And and thanks to my brother for paying for much of it. And I just go right into this patterns, but I caught myself so much earlier. Like she gets this look on her face, which means she's not happy. She doesn't say things, but she gets this look on her face, and I know, she doesn't like what's happening there. I just take it on like I do. And I want to fix it or whatever. But then I was trying not to. I was sitting there, and she says, well, it's I'm getting older, and I get really set in my ways. And I said, I know that about you, and I love you just the way you are. That was a gift to both of us, I hope, because she's getting more entrenched as she gets older.
Right.
But my goal is not to take it on, like, oh no, she's not happy, I'm doing something wrong, or I need to fix it for her, to just be able to say, oh, that's her. So I made big progress. That was a big one. And
that's huge, Janice.
Yeah. Because normally, she's the one I had to please. It was interesting, but yeah.
Congratulations. That's huge.
Thank you. Yeah.
Wow. Celebrate that, baby. Woohoo!
Yeah. Thank you.
That's fantastic. And, it's just another example of how that was a very sad, grief-stricken occasion. And you're still able to see your growth.
Yeah.
Had you not had those 6 days in there of it's the universe continues to amaze me. God, the universe, whatever it is you call the higher power, continues to amaze me, because in every experience there's a lesson. In every experience there's something to learn, and you got to learn, validate just how far you've come.
Yeah.
It's
I tell you,
fantastic.
one interesting thing is you are blessed with such a connection to the higher beings. And I just love that about you. I such respect that about you. And I wish I had it. And I think I've shut it out for, a lot of years. I have to say, when I was down there, when you're in the middle of this kind of energy or whatever, I really felt connected. I felt like because you want to know why, because this girl, she didn't have any medical issues. She was just a beautiful soul. And 3 months after the brother,
Right.
and I kind of felt like my brother's 74 and he has to take care of, his wife has lots of disabilities and their life is, I can't imagine, and it's like, what are they going to do if they pass? Because he's had heart attacks with their kids, who live with him. He had 2 special needs, these 2.
Mm-hmm.
And we're so worried. But this thing came over me. I was like, they need to pass before Peter, my brother, and his wife do.
Mm.
So that they can go and with peace, because they couldn't stand the thought of having them go live someplace else without their love. So that feeling, that all of that, this feeling just came over me. And it was not that's, I don't hate to say that it's, it's meant to be. I don't mean that at all. But I felt connected. And that's the feeling that came over me. It's like, everything's going to be okay, because now they can have some peace and end their lives with some peace before.
And that takes me right to when Richard LaRocco was on the show, and he said, you never stop grieving, you just find peace. I feel like that's the perfect example of you finding peace with what happened.
Yeah.
Wow, Janice.
Yeah, you never know what to do. Do you tell Peter? Peter, this is meant to be,
Too soon.
Weird situation.
Yeah. And the interesting thing is it's probably not so I'm hearing that it has gone through your brother's mind too, that there was a divine plan. It doesn't make it easier, but it helps you find some peace.
Yeah.
Wow. You were very busy over the holiday.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Flexing your growth game. Go on, girl.
Yeah. A lot of growth. Really.
Yeah.
And I've had some connection, which I've wanted, and I think I block it. That time I said, I block this. I would normally say this is hogwash. I would not believe that it was something that just, So it was, what a moment. Thank you.
Okay, so I have a question now. What have you done since then to continue nurturing that connection?
I did not much, but I did a little bit. I did a little bit of thanking and appreciating.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll probably just block it out again. I have to avoid not doing that, going right back to that pattern, I guess. That's what I'm doing. I'm trying not to go back to that pattern.
Yeah, I tell you, because you fall in and out of it. And the best thing to get me back in, and it's like supercharge that connection, is I start to journal. I'm not somebody that journals every day. I'm not consistent with it. But when I feel like the connection's staticky, I'll sit down, and that's when I'll spend a couple days where I'll journal. And the only question I ask is, what do you want me to know today? And then anything that comes through, I honor it and write it down. Great. Sometimes it makes sense. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it's 5 words. Sometimes it's 5 pages. It just all depends. But sitting down, taking the time, being present, and saying, all right, connection, what do you want me to know today? That always helps gear that back up and open it up.
That's great.
Just a thought, if you want to play a little bit.
Idea.
And again,
I found I did journal once a couple weeks ago, and something happened. So I think this is I'm hearing it again, probably for a reason. Okay.
Excellent. All right, so let's head on to Pearls of Wisdom. See what kind of wisdom we have for today. All of our talk about peace. There is peace in this stillness. There is beauty in this silence. Don't stir yourself too much. Your soul is searching for peace. Be still, experience calm, which feeds right into, our topic for today. And it's interesting because we've talked prior to the holiday about how I'm learning what real rest is, what true rest is. And, I'm feeling the same way about peace. Peace is, it's a state of mind. My body doesn't always have to be sitting still in order to experience peace. It's about my mind being still. And the best way for my mind to be still is to be in the present moment. My mind gets real active if I'm living in the past, or I'm trying to project into the future. And I keep telling myself that whatever I'm projecting into the future can only be based on the past. So if I don't want to relive my past, I have to leave the future open. Focus more on being present. So these are the things that I'm actively working on. And beauty in the silence. I've been very intentional about having background noise, when to have it, when not to have it. And really, you're talking about the connection, asking, do we want some music now? Well, what do I go within and say, what do I want? I'm working to be more intentional in everything that I do and not just on autopilot, because I found myself falling back into that pattern of autopilot. I'm a PE teacher. Processes are my thing as far as breaking down skills and all that kind of stuff, having outlines, having lesson plans. That was my life. So falling into that old pattern of everything needs to be planned and scheduled, it was not working for me any longer.
Good for you. I mean, that's so huge. That's huge.
Yeah, it's a work in progress. It's definitely a work in progress. And, there's comfort in patterns for me. That's where I feel safe, because I know what's expected of me. I know what's expected, as a result. And I'm pushing outside the comfort zone and opening my heart and my mind and really working on just allowing the universe to bring me, show me how great it can get. And that's what I keep asking the universe to do. Show me how great it can get. So, we're very much in a period where we're rewiring our minds. And there's so much, clients have been reaching out, and there's so much coming up that we thought we had healed already. We know that we heal in layers that we're being faced to deal with. And something that was made very abundantly clear to me. I've been saying this mantra, Janice. My body is in perfect harmony. Every cell vibrates with radiant health, strength, and vitality. I've been saying that 3 times a day. It probably started back in November. So when Jen first got sick, I was saying that mantra over and over and over and over again. Like, I'm not going to get sick. I'm not going to get sick. I'm saying the mantra. I'm doing the things. I'm, disinfecting. I'm burning sage. I'm doing all of the things. And then I got sick. And I was like, what the hell? I did all the things. and then it hit me. You're declaring that you want your body in perfect harmony. So the body is going to do whatever it needs to do to be in perfect harmony, which means it needs to detox. And that's what was happening. So when you're saying these mantras and you're making these affirmations, we're making that declaration that our bodies can adjust, that our minds can adjust. So as we're getting rid of all the trash and debris, and we might not be feeling so great, reassure yourself that A, it's temporary, and B, this is what we asked for. This is what we have to do to get to what we're saying. So I was like, bing. That was like a duh moment.
Say your mantra again. I want to hear that again.
My body is in perfect harmony. Every cell vibrates with radiant health, strength, and vitality. It's something that I saw in a video on Facebook or something, but it was talking about your body rejuvenates itself from your blood cells to your bone marrow, all of it. So this is when you support that healing process by stating the mantra, everything starts to fall in line. So
Nice.
I figured
Nice.
speaking words isn't going to hurt. Let's put the mind, or we're finding out more and more that our minds really do create our reality. So, hey, I'm going to focus on great reality
Mm.
and leave all the other stuff behind.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So, yeah. I feel like we need to break for a commercial, and we will be back with Pathways to Peace.
Okay.
And we are back. Be Here Now, the Peaceful Empowerment Works show, where presence invites perspective and allows peace. Our topic today is busy bus or cozy cruiser. Which one are you driving? Yeah, this, as I just shared all the stuff I've been working on, that's where this topic came from. It's, when I think of busy bus, I think about all the distractions going on in the world. My phone, social media is a distraction. TV is a distraction. Football. I love football. Football is a distraction. Focusing on other people's issues, all these things. So this is what I was thinking about, because I'd like to be in the cozy cruiser more.
Yeah. When I was looking at your list, I don't know if we're about to go into that, but I'll wait till you get to the list, because I can relate way too much for a few of those.
Yeah. So, if we want to go to the list real quick, Silverio, we can dive into that. Yeah, I found some graphics. I'm a sucker for a beetle bug and a Volkswagen bus, just so everybody
Oh, me
knows.
too. Well, not bus, but the beetle.
Yeah,
Beetle.
that symbolizes total peace and chill to me.
Well, it's symbols to me is when we were in high school, a friend of ours had a little beetle,
Uh-huh.
and we could try to, I don't know, maybe 7 of us would cram into that little beetle, and we'd stop at a red light. Of course, we only had one in my town, so we had to go to the next town. And at the red light, we'd all jump out and run around the car, then all go back in. Did you ever do that? Anyways,
Yeah,
that was the thing. Okay.
That's great.
My cozy cruiser moment.
Cruiser. Yeah, some of the distractions we were talking about, like I said, TV, social media, gossip, doing chores, busying yourself with chores to avoid things, work, school, social engagements. I know I spent a lot of my life just being busy. On the weekends, I was going to friends' houses. I was babysitting kids. I was doing all the things. Sports, food, shopping, focusing on the past and the future, struggling to make decisions. The busy bus is something that keeps your mind so active that you can't find that peace that Janice has discovered.
I know one thing is I used to have, well, I still have, but anxiety, but I would have these racing thoughts. Mm-hmm. So what I tried to do is develop ways not to be thinking these racing thoughts. So okay. I do the TV, I do work, so it's interesting. I actually, I think this is why I have such a hard time with the keeping in the busy bus, is I'm so good at keeping the TV and the social media or whatever, even like my body, I like it to be still even as I'm doing this, which is interesting. Mm-hmm. And not only do I do it, I have to do a couple things at once. Like I can't just watch TV. It's not enough.
Okay.
I also have to have like a game that I'm playing at the same time. So I've mastered that busy. And that's how I got through a lot of things in life. So I wouldn't dwell or, the racing mm-hmm. thoughts so much on these negative things. So I think it was a good coping mechanism at the time, maybe.
Yeah, but, absolutely.
Hard to stop that.
I think what an excellent point you made about how you use these things to help with your anxiety. We talk about survival techniques and tools. That's exactly what these have been for you.
Yeah.
So I can completely understand how shifting out of that could be extremely challenging, because then you have the anxiety to deal with.
And through this, I've actually stopped pretty much all my anti-anxiety medications. I just have one over the counter that I don't think works, but
Okay.
what do they call it? Fake one. No. And I, I've had my moments. I had a little meltdown the other day, but on the whole, I do okay. Mm-hmm. And even as I'm coming into hopefully getting less distracted, I'm doing it with no medical, no prescriptive assistance. It's going well.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. I mean, yeah, living in the cozy cruiser, I was like, what does that even mean? Cozy cruiser. And it's about being in the present moment. We can't predict the future. There's a lot of the past that we don't want to continue living in, and those old patterns that we've been working very diligently to break those emotional patterns, those physical patterns, and choose differently. And the best way to do that is by being in the present moment. Living in the now and being fully present in the experience. When Janice and I do the show, we have to be present. She can't be on her phone playing a game, and she can't be thinking of other things. We have to be locked in and present in this moment so that we can show up and hopefully offer something that is helpful. That's our goal. That's our purpose. So it's very different. I feel like the show has given you an opportunity to prove to yourself that you can be present, and not just for 2 minutes, 5 minutes at a time. From the time we start working in our pregame meeting to the end of the show, and then we do a debrief meeting. So for 2 hours, you stay here, you stay present.
That's true. I hadn't thought of that.
Yeah. And because of the intuitive counseling I do, I have more practice of being present and staying in the moment, because if I'm not, I can't receive the information that the person needs. But the 2 hours, 2 or 3 hours for me it's a challenge as well. So when that's done, it's like, I've been focused for so long, let me pick up my phone and scroll through Facebook. That distractive part, it's there. And I've really been working on giving myself grace, because before I would be like, I've earned this distractive, mind-numbing time. And now I ask, do I need it? Do I need this to recalibrate? Is that a good thing for me to distract myself with to recalibrate? Or is there something more beneficial that I could do that will have the same effect, but yet it's more positive? So I've been paying more attention to the articles I'm reading, the books I'm reading, or whatever it is, even if I'm just looking at happy pictures to let my mind go a little numb. I've been really intentional about what I'm allowing to go in.
That's interesting, because that maybe I'm going to try. I am going to try adding that as part of that pause before I shut down, and say, maybe I'll start with, why am I shutting down? Or is it the best thing for me to shut down? I don't know. I'm going to try a pause and try to do that. I think that will help for my next step in that.
Excellent.
Yeah.
And this has been something too, choosing to do things you love and interjecting what you must. Society has trained us that you work. And if you get your work done, then you have earned the right to relax and do something that you love. I'm trying to flip the script here. And I'm like, I'm going to plan to do what I love today. And then I'm going to interject the things that have to get done.
Wow. What a shift that is.
Yeah, so I'm going to implement that shift as well.
Good answer.
Because you know what? Tomorrow isn't promised, and we need to live in the here and the now and today. And we need to enjoy every day. Yes, this is a journey. We're supposed to be enjoying the journey and not being focused on only the end game.
That's interesting.
Too.
So it's funny. My husband's, for the past few days, has been starting to get some racing thoughts. And, we're talking about writing our will finally, because we haven't agreed. So we haven't done it. And then I'm like, I know. So I just, you know what? We don't know what's going to happen. Why are we going to worry about those details right now? Let's do a big picture. Let's, let's not worry about that. And a lot of it's like, Mike, we don't know what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Why are you worrying about that? Something could happen tomorrow and we'll never have to worry, and unfortunately too, when you go through a, death or situation like that, it helps, unfortunately, but it helps you get more present a little bit.
Yes.
It's like, why are we racing those thoughts about tomorrow or well, I want so and so to get this, and so
you're going to be gone.
Yeah, let's do a will for today, saying I get it if you die, you get it if I die, and whoever takes care of our state, we'll do some intentions, and then There you go.
Excellent.
But it's interesting. So there I'm already starting to help my husband with his racing thoughts.
Perfect.
Living in the present. That's so key.
It is. And, there are things that we have to do because, we're still functioning in this world. And another tip I was given years ago is if this is something, it was me getting through my last 2 years of teaching, is this is something that I must do, help me do it with a happy heart. Help me do it with a happy heart. And it really does start to shift how you approach it. Because I was like, oh, God, I got to get up and I got to do this again. And I have to go to school and blah, blah, blah. And it was like, I can't do 2 years of this. So if this is what I need to do right now, help me do it with a happy heart. And it really gave me a different perspective on how to play out those last 2 years.
That's a great idea.
You
think it'll work for housework? Please give me a
yes,
happy heart.
I think it'll work for anything. But whatever hits you. If I put music on and I'm cleaning the house, I always do better with music playing. That was something that we grew up with. We would put a bunch of records on the record player and we would clean. So that always takes me to a happy place. So yeah, those things that we don't enjoy doing, if this is what I have to do, help me do it with a happy heart. Yeah. And then going with the flow. And this is something Greg and I talked about on the show last week. It's, don't be so attached to the expectation and to the outcome. Go with the flow and enjoy the process. And it's not always, it doesn't always feel good. It's the process. And the biggest thing I keep hearing over and over again is remind yourself it's temporary.
It's interesting. Of course, I hear things and you think of associate it with your recent events. And I'm thinking about my sister. And she really, part of her thing is she gets hooked into, this is how it should be. This is how it should be. And it's things you can't control. Yeah. And I saw her let go and say, there's nothing I can do about it. So, wow. So, but it's all, that was just a perfect example is she did that. Actually, I told how proud I was of her. Now that I think about it, because that's a huge thing.
That's fantastic. Yeah. We've talked about, focusing on what you can control because that's it. That's all you have. And what you can control is how you show up in this present moment.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Trusting your intuition, those gut feelings those hits you get. Trust them. And if you don't want to start, you don't want to start big with life-changing decisions. You start with something simple. What am I going to wear today? What am I going to eat at the restaurant? What am I, little questions like that you ask and then follow the guidance that you get. Because the more you trust the information you get, the more information you get. The more confident you become in trusting yourself.
And you're more your authentic self. That's one of the things I found when I was discovering that I had an authentic self. It was really about, I really want to do this. And then I had to look at, that's the fear. I don't want to do that because the fear. This is what I want to do. Is it fear? No. And then you're able to try to let go of that. And that's my intuition. That's my authentic self. And I tell you, the day I first found that was such a gift.
Yes. Absolutely. And one of the big things, with so much distraction going on in the world is that reminder that when you ask, okay, is this something I should be doing? If you don't get a hard yes or a hard no, it simply means not yet. If it's not a hard yes or a hard no, it's a not yet. Because, there's a lot going on out there that we're not aware of. We don't have the big picture. And maybe there's a lot going on behind the scenes that the universe is conspiring in your favor, and it's just not time for you to take action yet.
Especially you who like to have the steps all done. And
exactly.
So that must be hard for you.
Exactly. Now, the funny thing is, knowing that I have that as a guiding light, okay, I'm not hearing hard yes, I'm not hearing hard no. Okay, it's a not yet. Just having that allows me to feel like I have a little bit of a plan.
Yeah, that's right. You do have a plan, and it's not yet.
Exactly. It is not yet.
Yeah.
Yes, and guilt-free rest. I grew up in a household where you earned your rest. You want to go lay by the pool, you need to do these things first. And that's how it was growing up. That's what we did. But really learning that when I was sick, I call it my delusional phase of my illness. It became very clear to me that I need time to unplug from everything and just allow myself to be. And in my mind, it was like, oh, so I'm just supposed to sit around and do nothing. And no, that's not it at all. It's about, you need the opportunity to just be with you in your home and do your thing and not feel guilty about not picking up the phone and responding immediately to a client texting me and the things like that. A day. My team is like, we're not asking you to do it for weeks, just a day. Give yourself a day where you don't feel obligated to use your intuitive counseling to help other people because you need time to recharge.
And that's a great chance for you to have that lesson. Okay, this is what you're working on, and now you have to.
Exactly. Yes. And making your physical and mental health a priority. It looks very different for everybody. And loving the body that you're in and who you are is something that the big shift in energy is very supportive of. You're hearing a lot of things about trauma therapy. You're hearing a lot of things about addiction recovery. Not that addiction wasn't something that was always being spoken of, but you're hearing a lot about trauma, recovering trauma therapy, things like that. And mental health, people are talking more and more about the importance of mental health and you taking care of yourself. So making yourself that priority first is, again, different thinking.
When one can beget the other, I don't know if that's the right word, but it wasn't really until I stopped working full time and had some downtime that I started to think about my physical and mental health, and or I wait till my mental health is crashing before I say, I think something's wrong. Yeah.
But you know what? That in itself is a sign of growth, because how many years, I know me, lived completely numb and I was so numb I didn't even realize I was living numb. Yeah. So the fact that we have awareness when we're falling back into those patterns is sign of growth in itself. And we have declared in our affirmation that we are going to celebrate that this year.
Amen. I have come a long way.
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
And enjoy keeping on improving. And that's a judgment word. Growing.
Growing.
That's judgmental. There you go. Growing. Yeah.
Healing and growing. Yes. Yeah. So yeah, busy bus, cozy cruiser. Which one do you want to drive this year? The choice is yours.
This year, I will try to be more in my Volkswagen Bug.
Yes, I love it. And in the words of Yoda, we don't try, we do.
We do. Yes, that's right.
Perfect. Well, Janice, it looks like we're coming to an end.
We are. Another quick minute.
Yes, we are running out of time, so it's time for us to wrap it up. I'm so glad to have you back with us, Janice. I've missed you.
Oh, I missed this. I really have. It helps my soul, and I really hope we can make a difference out there. We love you all, and we hope that sharing this helps your day and journey go a little more peacefully and feel better and more loving to yourself.
Absolutely. So thank you for choosing to be here now with us. Please always remember,
you are not alone.
And don't ever forget, you are awesome. Thank you so much, Janice. Thank you, Silveria.
Bye. Thank you.